You want to say anything about Miguel Luna?
My compadre, if there's a building at the corner of Broad and Ontario, where there is this great mural. And if you ever
Yeah, I've seen
want
it, and I saw you have it on your Facebook page.
yeah, so Miguel's birthday was this past
Yeah.
week, and I put that up. But Miguel is one of those people who is just a presence, not because of his physical size, but because of the size of his heart. Miguel was one of those people that laughed with his entire body. And he was one of those people who believed that the answers to many of our problems lie in our community. That we need to stabilize people and stabilize families, and the work doesn't stop there. That we need to also change the conditions that created that instability. Miguel used to say it's important for us to feed people, absolutely, but it's equally important for us to fight the causes of hunger. It's important for us to find opportunity for people, but it's equally important for us to fight the causes of poverty. So he was one of those folks that got the big picture, as well as how that big picture played itself out on a regular basis in communities like the Southside. So yeah, it's he's physically no longer with us, but his spirit is still here.
Do you have a favorite story about him?
Oh, there are too many. But Miguel had this way of engaging people in things that had to do with food, and he was an amazing cook. He was one of those folks that shopped for food and for groceries, just like there was never an end to time. We had he made this great pot of crabs and coconut sauce, and to get to the end, it was an all-day excursion. So we would go down to Galilee and wait for the boats to come in to buy crabs. But before we went down to Galilee, before the boats came in, we had to go have breakfast. So we had to go have breakfast, and that was about an hour. The boats come in, we go through them, and we negotiate with the fishermen and buy the crabs. And by that time, before we headed back to Providence, we had to have lunch. So then we stopped somewhere to have lunch, and on the way back, we'd have to stop and pick up some groceries, some things we needed to cook. And then we got home and started cleaning the crabs, and Miguel would call people to come over and help and ask them to bring wine and ask them to bring bread. And it always reminded me, with those excursions, of the old story about stone soup, because everybody bought something, right? And we probably didn't get to eat the crabs and coconut sauce till 8 or 9 o'clock that night, since we started at 8 in the morning that same day. But it was a joyful and thoroughly entertaining experience to cook with my compadre Miguel Luna, because it was an all-day affair.
That's funny.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So like him, there's some, lots of people who have made Southside their home, and who were proud of their community, proud of the folks there. Often we teach our young people that the definition of success is overcoming the most humble of beginnings. And far too often people take that to mean that in order for you to be considered successful, you've got to move out of the community that you come from. Success, the implicit sentiment is that there are no successful people on the South Side, because if you'd been successful, you would have left the South Side a long time ago. And that was something that always troubled Miguel and others, that, we would tell our kids that in order for you to be considered successful, you had to leave this amazing neighborhood. And that was always something that we tried to, sometimes in nice and polite ways, and other times in not so nice or polite ways, that there's nothing wrong with living on the South Side. And I tell people there's nowhere else I'd rather live. I can find the best restaurants. I have great neighbors. We threw a block party once, and we counted there was food from almost every continent, and probably close to 20 different countries. from Latin America to Asia to Africa. You could walk down that block and try food from almost anywhere. And that's part of the beauty of the South Side. There are people who come from everywhere and make this the place where they can start their life here in the United States, start their life here in Rhode Island, and be part of the community, be part of the texture, be part of that great tapestry that's the South Side, and contribute their own colors to that mosaic. Not many other places in the state where that sort of coexistence happens. So yeah,